Good morning and welcome to the Big Agent Meeting. My name is Russ Legg and I will be your host today. And check it out. We've got a show for you. We've got a couple of updates you guys are going to want to check out. And then we're going to kick over to an interview with Holly Mabery. She's going to talk about brokerage updates and what's going on with brokerage. You got to listen to that because there's all kinds of fun stuff changing. And then Brian Ellington and Gusty Gulas are going to have a conversation about Zillow Flex. You guys are going to want to stick around for that one because that one's going to be pretty cool. So we've got a great show lined up for you guys today. And as always, we kick it off right out of the gate with the Attraction Advantage section, which is what I want to talk about today. Guys, heads up. Did you know that if you're building an organization, if you get the people in your organization building the organization, that it helps the organization grow way faster? How many of you guys would like to actually build your whole organization by yourself? Said nobody ever, right? So we've got an amazing program. If you guys haven't seen it, you want to check it out. It's called FastAttract. FastAttract is kicking off on January 26th, goes through March 5th. This year. So starts on Monday to 3 days from now, and you guys can jump in and register. There'll be a link in the chat so you guys can jump in and register for FastAttract. And you also want to get anybody that's in your organization that wants to run to register for FastAttract. That way you guys are on the same page, moving in the same direction, doing the same stuff. You lead by example by doing what they should be doing and modeling what they should be doing by doing it alongside them. And it's a great way to build an organization that's bigger, better, stronger, faster, and grows way more prolifically than if you're just doing it yourself manually. So FastAttract starts on Monday, 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Check out the link in the chat and make sure you register and get signed up for that because it's going to be a doozy. Lots of great stuff coming down the pike for you guys. All right, so there you go for that. Check this out, guys. eXpCON Global Access Pass. That's a mouthful, isn't it? So check this out. In 2026, there's something you should pay attention to. The eXpCON Global Access Pass gives you access to all 4 flagship events in the year 2026. Cape Town, South Africa, come on. Vancouver, Canada for eXpCON Canada. Paris for eXpCON International. And then, of course, Salt Lake City for eXpCON United States of America. And we are happy to make sure that you guys have the ability to have one pass to be able to get into all of them. Instead of choosing just one event, you got the ability to lock in your seat for the entire year. Get to do some travel and build your global community. Global Access Pass is available through January 31st. So that's coming up soon, guys. Visit the event site today and learn more about the Global Pass. Check that out. Man, I'm going to be at least 2 of those. So I'm excited. All right. So next up, we have Brian Ellington having a conversation with Gusty Gulas. If you guys don't know Gusty, I love this guy. He's a super cool dude, great sensibility, and just gets what's going on in the business. They're going to be talking about Zillow Flex. So guys, take it away.
And you said you have 20 folks. Now, I'm going to differentiate between your production team and your Zillow Flex team.
Sure.
And I'm going to ask, is there a difference in those people?
Yeah, I've got folks, like, I give it the choice. Like, it's like, if you want to do Flex, great. If you don't, no big deal. Like, okay. And I'll say that some agents do not want to pay the referral fee. And I'm okay with that. Now, I will have folks that will kind of go back and forth in and out of Flex. And I think a lot of it has to do with what does their pipeline look like? Like recently, I mean, I just got out of a one-on-one meeting. And I had somebody that was out of Flex for about 6 months. And based on the last meeting I had a couple of weeks ago, they decided to get back on Flex. And now, in just a 2-week period, he's got like five people he's working. And so, so I find that people will kind of go in and out. And a lot of it just depends on, like, I mean, you will get, like, you'll get exhausted from it. And so the way I like, especially with new agents, I like to build pipelines with Zillow Flex leads. So go all in for the first, really 3 months, like hammer out leads on Flex. And then based on that pipeline and where they're at and what their comfort level is, then I might say, all right, let's pause for a couple of weeks. Let's catch your breath and then maybe go in, like, maybe it's an every other week thing, or maybe you're 1 month on, 1 month off, just based on pipeline. But I find that people kind of go in that roller coaster, and it's hard to have somebody go, all out for like a year straight. So But I really do play it based on the person, and it's based on their goals. I've got some folks that want to do, like, I'm in a market that our average price range is 300,000. So, I've got folks that want to do 5 million. I've got folks that want to do 10 million. Got folks that want to do 15 million. Well, the way I coach them is going to be different between the 5 and the $15 million person. And so, for us, I'm going to be, a lot of it depends on those goals. And then holding people accountable and just knowing where they're at as far as their pipeline is and where they're at year to date in closings, and then pushing people based on that.
You said something interesting. You said that not your phraseology, but basically it'll wear you out if you're. Oh,
yeah. You'll get burnout for sure.
Is that because people, the agents, are not doing everything they could to convert the leads well? Is it because just the nature of these leads, they are going to run you ragged and make you go through your paces before they sign on to a buyer rep agreement, if they do that at all? Why do you say it'll run you ragged?
Yeah. I mean, I think most agents are good at very low hanging fruit. I think where agents have a hard time is long-term follow-up. And agents really, I mean, it is a rare thing for an agent to have a long-term follow-up, really good game plan that they're actually following, in my opinion. Some are a lot better than others. I think really where the burnout does come in is if you get a good run of people in a row that just, they want to see a bunch of houses, never want to make a decision. Or, sometimes, you'll go show them a bunch of houses and then they'll go work with another agent or go buy new construction without you. That will burn you out. So, you can get a lot of leads. I mean, we're probably one of the lucky teams that has a plethora of opportunities. And so, I mean, once you fit, 10, 15, 20 leads in a month, I mean, that adds up, and especially over a 3-6 month period. So you can knock out the low hanging fruit, but that long-term follow-up, it can be a little bit more difficult. So every agent is different at what they can truly follow up on. I mean, I think realistically, a true follow-up, I think people can do probably 50 to 75 leads truly on a follow-up. I think when you go above that, it is very difficult.
Can I ask you about your top converters for a second?
Sure.
So when you think about the people who are at the top of that leaderboard versus the people who are in the middle, or even the people who are at the bottom, why are they at the top? What is it that they're doing? You mentioned earlier, understanding follow-up, but what else?
Number one, they are on Zillow Flex. Number two, dials. They're hitting their numbers, or they're making their phone calls. I think number three, they are trying to solve a problem, and they're trying to bring solutions to those problems, and they're trying to create deals. I think that they are trying to make recommendations of houses. They're not just sitting back and being a door opener. They are really trying to figure out what somebody wants and make recommendations. Those are what I see as the people that are being successful at this point. Problem solving, working. And then it's not only like, I mean, once you get it under contract, heck, I mean, you got to get this sucker to the closing table. That's not easy either. So, being able to have, really good communication with the other agent and just get it to, across the finish line.
Do you have TCs on your team that help with that last part?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah. But that doesn't mean that it's, the agents are out of it, because agents are going to be usually front line. And like, for example, today we found out about, HOA assessment. We represented the seller, and all of a sudden the HOA letter came back, and they've got in the next 3 months an assessment coming. So we had to overcome that today. And so you just never know. I mean, that's why you've got to, again, great communication with the other agent, great communication with your clients. And especially if you've got, if you're working, like maybe it's a flex lead and it's a seller and their house isn't flying off the shelf, make sure you're touching base with them every week and just giving them an update. It doesn't have to be great news. It just needs to be some news. And they want to know what you're doing to try to figure out how to get their home sold. So I think those folks giving those updates makes a big deal too.
All right, so there you go. If you want to check out the full interview, go to eXp's YouTube channel and check out Brian and Gusty. More conversation about Zillow Flex, what it's all about, and how to build a business with that. So check that out for the full podcast version of that at eXp Live. Type in Gusty Gulas on the eXp channel, and you'll pop right over to that interview. All right, next up, we have the one and only Holly Mabery, brokerage update, talking to you about what's going on in the brokerage world right now. Take it away, Holly.
As we look at the new year, we've got a lot of rules, regulations, and new things to follow. And FinCEN, well, it's coming back. And this is basically the federal law that was passed a few years ago, requiring us to pay attention to money laundering. And I know that sounds really fancy and kind of scary, but let's break it down so you know what's coming. Starting March 1st, basically there's a residential rule that says any professionals involved in closings and settlements that are subject to these rules to FinCEN regarding certain non-finance transfers of residential real estate, well, they've got to disclose it. They have to disclose it to the government. All right, that's a whole lot of mumbo jumbo. So let's break it down and let's talk about what it really means. A transfer is reportable if the property is residential. So we're looking at 3 units or less, or 4 units or less, right? It's got to be under that residential threshold. Then also it's non-financed. You're not going through a bank. You're not going through a credit union. Maybe it's cash for cash, something like that. Now, this is where it's really important. If it's being put into a certain type of entity or trust, this is where you start to hit that threshold. So for instance, let's say you're selling a duplex and the person who approaches you to purchase, they don't have an agent, but they just want to put it into their LLC. Well, that sounds pretty normal, but they also only have cash or even crypto. Okay, now I want you to pay attention. In those instances, if they are putting it all cash or even cryptocurrency into an LLC with this transfer of a residential property, now we might trigger that there's something to be disclosed. The final thing is there's no other exceptions. All right, I'm going to get to exceptions in a minute. But who actually does the reporting? Well, 9 times out of 10, you're going to see something along the lines of your closing agent. You're going to have some sort of title insurance. But this is where you and I as agents need to pay attention. If you have that said buyer who shows up and they want to buy that duplex, they want to put it in their LLC, they have cryptocurrency, and they don't want to use a title company, guess who just became the reporting agent? Yeah, you or me. And that's where it gets a little bit tricky. So if you go to the FinCEN website, this is actually a screen grab that I got from them as far as what does the reportable transfer involve? And like it breaks down to, hey, is there a settlement agent or a closing statement? Okay, no. Great. Then is there a person who prepares anything? If no, okay, if that person is filing something with the county recorders. Now, if you are handling any piece of this, you are likely going to become the recording agent. But if there's an escrow officer involved, if there's a closing attorney involved, likely they are the ones that are going to have to record it. And this is something where I really want you to inspect what you expect as far as who that closing agent is, are they doing the reporting, etc. Now, let's talk about carve-outs because there's always exceptions. And when do transfers not beat that reportable transfer, right? It could be an easement coming back. If you had given an easement to your neighbor to get to the back of their property, okay, great. They're selling, you want to remove that easement. Good. That's not going to be reported. Also, if somebody passes away and now you're executing the rest of the will and it's going into a trust or something like that, does not have to be reported. If there's a divorce, does not have to be reported. If there's a marriage or a civil union dissolution, does not have to be reported. If it's supervised by a U.S. court, yeah, the government probably knows about it, so it doesn't have to be reported. Also, if there was no other consideration, right? So if my spouse and I are putting our property into our trust or taking it out of our trust, yeah, it probably doesn't have to be reported. Also 1031 exchanges. And that's a really big key. So if you've got someone who's doing a 1031 exchange, it's going to an accommodator. Okay, great. No problem. Again, because that's all being forwarded to the IRS. And also at the end of the day, if there is no reporting person, what does that mean? Well, there's no closing attorney, there's no title or escrow person, and there's no real estate agent. So if you are not involved in the transaction, it's just two folks sitting at a kitchen table swapping money and paperwork. Okay. Those are the carve outs I want you to be aware of. Now, this is what we know is the FinCEN rule was already delayed once. Could it be delayed again? I'm watching it closely, but I wanted to take an opportunity to get ahead of it, particularly because we're just here at the end of January. You may be putting things under contract here in the next coming weeks, and you may have buyers that approach you and say, hey, I think I'm going to use crypto, or hey, I think I'm going to potentially pay all cash, put it in my LLC. Okay, great. This is a deeper conversation to put you ahead and actually help you break down what the client should be expecting and what gets reported. Now, the filing deadline, this is what's so key. If you happen to be the person who is responsible, right? There's no closing agent, they aren't getting financed. You have up until the last day of the month after it closes. So today, let's just say it closes today, but we've got a few more days left in the month. Okay, no problem. You have until the end of February. But I want you to be very thoughtful around this. And if you have questions, of course, reach out to your state broker or reach out to your title escrow person because they've been going through all sorts of trainings along these lines. It's really important that we stay on top of these things. So I actually signed up on the FinCEN website for updates. I know I'm a firecracker. I like to have all the fun, but I wanted to give you some great resources. So you can go here. These are quick links that break down everything I just shared. Also, if you want to do some more due diligence, fincen.gov/RRE. Cool. You can check that out and you can email them. I haven't tried doing that, but I'm sure they'll get back to you, when it's appropriate. I hope this helps. I hope you're out selling lots. And again, this is all about us educating our clients as to what new rules are happening, how we're staying on top of it.
Okay, there you go, Holly Mabery. Man, there's always stuff going on every single week. There's new stuff going on in the real estate brokerage. 2026 is going to be the same. There's going to be a lot of changes throughout this year, and we're going to be making sure we're keeping you guys up to speed on what's going on. All right, next up, we have Agent Advantage, one of our affiliate businesses called Kaydoh. I'm looking forward to seeing what that's all about. Take it away. What's Kaydoh all about?
If you're waiting until the listing appointment to prove your value, you're already behind. Sellers are deciding who they trust before you arrive, based on clarity, confidence, and communication. So in the next few minutes, I'm going to show you how top agents are winning the listing before the appointment using fast, personal video follow-ups. And by the way, my name is Michael Lam. I'm the founder of Kaydoh. So if sellers are deciding before the appointment, the question becomes, why do even great agents lose listings when they finally sit down? Well, first, most agents are not designers, and they shouldn't be. They know the pricing, they know the client, they know the market. But instead of focusing on the conversation, they're stuck second guessing themselves on the font, the layout, the formatting. And even if they're able to pull it all together, it's going to take them hours pulling in the PDFs, the comps, the videos, the testimonials, just to create something that's beautiful. So most end up skipping this entire process, and they'll send an email full of links and documents, hoping that that's going to connect the dots with the seller. How does the seller respond? How do they feel? Well, they're overwhelmed. It's not engaging and doesn't feel like a premium experience. And when the experience doesn't feel premium before the appointment, the agent has already lost leverage. This is where Kaydoh comes in. Kaydoh changes the entire experience. With Kaydoh, you're building a beautiful, interactive presentation page in minutes, right directly from your phone. You can drag and drop your CMA, your drone videos, your past listings, all in one place. And here's the key part. You can record a video, a personal video, directly on the presentation itself. And instead of sending files and links and documents, You're sending a single link. No extra tools, no design team, just you, your value, presented beautifully. It's just one link, one professional experience. Now, Kaydoh isn't just for listings. It supports your entire sales cycle. So you start off using Kaydoh at the listing appointment to stand apart, but then you're using Kaydoh to host an open house page with built-in lead capture. And after you end up closing on the property, you're using Kaydoh to drop the closing statement in to generate additional referrals and collect testimonials, all in one experience. Now, for buyer agents, you're using Kaydoh to onboard new clients to justify your value with a clean, organized experience. With over 40 customizable templates, you can deliver your value every step of the way, no matter the client, no matter the scenario. Let me give you an example of an agent that won really big with Kaydoh. His name is HD, and he got an online seller lead. He had just 3 days to do the appointment, so instead of sending a full of documents, of PDFs and links, he uses Kaydoh to build out a personalized presentation page like you see here. He did it in under 10 minutes, and he records a personalized video, even puts the homeowner name right on the page, and he does it in under 10 minutes and sends out a single text message. This impressed the homeowner, and it landed him a $1.5 million listing. What's beautiful about this entire process is that it's a rinse and repeat type of system. So the next appointment he goes to, he does the exact same setup. Matter of fact, he recently won a $4 million expired listing using the exact same strategy. Now, Kaydoh isn't public. If you went on our homepage today, you're going to see a way to just join our wait list. It's not meant for everybody, but because of our partnership with eXp, everybody who's watching this video is going to have immediate access to Kaydoh, an opportunity to give us a try. We offer a 14-day free trial. Now, everything I showed with you today assumes you're in front of your computer, but the listing is usually won before you even get there. And I'm going to show you how top agents right now do a little demo on how you can do this directly on your phone. So I'm just going to close out here just a little bit. And I'm going to pull my phone right over here. Let me make this a little bit smaller so everyone can see this. So this is my phone. I'm mirroring or cast mirroring from my phone here. I'm using the Kaydoh app. I'm not on my computer, and I'm going to do a little quick follow-up. Let's set the stage here, folks. I got a referral or maybe an online seller lead. I give them a phone call. Her name is Katie, and I set the appointment for this coming Friday. All right. I had a great conversation. I hang up on the phone call, and this is where the magic happens. You can do a quick video follow-up directly on your phone, and we're going to do that right now. So I'm just going to hit the video record, pull out my phone here. This is me. And as soon as it loads up, I'm going to do my quick video follow-up. And remember, I just got off the phone call with Katie. So I'll hit record. Hey, Katie, great speaking with you on the phone today. I'm super excited to see you this coming Friday, and I want to just give you a heads up. I've already prepared a whole presentation for you. I even have the net sheet, the comps, a little sample of what we've done in the past. I wanted to just give it to you ahead of time so that when we do meet this Friday, we'll go over exact strategy to get you top dollars. If you have any questions, feel free to text back. That's all I did, folks. I did a quick video recording directly on my mobile app. And I'm going to go ahead and choose an option to create a listing presentation page. I'm going to choose one that I already have a template, and everybody who's on our platform already has these pre-built. And I'm just going to personalize it a little bit, right? I'm just going to put in their name right in here. It's her name is Katie Jones. I'm just going to customize it a little bit. Okay, I'm not doing a whole lot here. I'm just swapping out her name. That's all I'm doing, folks. I just made a quick little video. I personalized it a little bit, and now I'm going to hit save. At this moment, I've just made myself a whole listing presentation directly on my phone without having to be in front of my computer. And at this moment, I can text it directly to them. I can copy this link. I can email it to them. I can even share it on social media if it wasn't a presentation, but maybe it's an open house page, right? So what I'm going to do right now is I'm just going to copy this link. And I'm going to hit, I'm going to be finished here and hit done. And I'm going to send it to one of my leads. Pull up Katie. There's Katie. I'm going to go ahead and just text it directly to her. I'm going to say, hey, Katie, great speaking with you. Here is a special video I made for you. Right. And I'm just going to paste that video in and just send it out. That's all I did, folks. And when Katie sees this text message, she's going to tap that link and it's going to open up. And when she sees it on her phone, it's going to say her name right on the page, Katie Jones, specially made for you. Here's that video I just recorded on my phone.
Hey, Katie, great speaking with you on the phone today. I'm super excited to see you this coming.
Right, that's the video. And I scroll down, here's the listing presentation, here's the comps, and you'll notice that I actually didn't do the comps, right? And I didn't actually bring in the net sheet. And what you're seeing here is actually strategic. It's password protected. And what it really does, folks, is that it buys you time. From the moment you hang up to the day of the appointment, you can go back into the system to replace this with and upload your actual comps, your actual net sheet, right? The goal of this is not necessarily for the seller to see everything, but it's really to show them and give them that premium experience that you're super organized, you know what you're doing, and you're coming in very prepared. And this experience is that wow, premium experience your sellers are going to absolutely be impressed about. And if we scroll down further below, you're going to be able to see your content, your Zillow reviews, your Google reviews, your logo, your branding, everything's all teed up, looking great for you. I'll pull back the account here. For those are interested, this was just a little demo. There's a lot more you can do within the platform. All you need to do is scan this QR code, fill out the form, and we'll get you all trained up. It takes you less than 30 minutes. You can certainly go to exp.kaydoh.com to learn more about our system. Thank you again. Again, my name is Michael Lam, founder of Kaydoh.
All right, so there you go, Kaydoh. If you didn't know about it before, you do now. Make sure you check them out and lean into seeing what they can do to help you grow your business. All right, University Spotlight. University's got some amazing, cool stuff. You guys won't believe, in my shift over to VP of Training, some of the things I've been seeing at University that I didn't even know they had have been blowing me away. So with that said, here's Alyssa Speck talking about University Spotlight. Take it away, Alyssa.
What's up, big agent meeting? Alyssa Specht here, back again with your eXp University Spotlight. And my friends, next week at eXpU, we are getting crystal clear on planning, on leadership, on execution. The lineup is all about building a business that performs and lasts. So let me give you the breakdown of what you can expect starting with next week. On Monday, we're looking at Level Up. So we are joined by Dustin Olson for a powerful business planning masterclass. You're going to learn how to clarify your income goals, how to turn them into daily and weekly actions, and focus on the one metric that truly drives results, your appointments. So you do not want to miss that. That's Monday on Level Up. Now let's take a look over to Thursday with the Executive Masterclass. We are joined by the amazing Susan McClain as she tackles the real pressures of team leadership. She's going to break down how to balance profit and performance, how to prioritize your nervous system over your P&L, and how to master the 10 core financial principles needed to build a scalable business. That's on Thursday on the Executive Masterclass. Then we're looking at Friday, back with another big agent meeting. You know the drill. You bring the coffee, we bring the value. Now we are joined by top producing realtor and team leader, Julie DeRochers, and she's going to be with Leo Pareja for another amazing episode of Real Estate Success Stories. And we're not done with Friday yet. Friday, we are back in the lab with the Lab Podcast. Now this time we are joined by Ali Garced, and she's going to talk about how she masters pricing conversations remotely. You guys, you do not want to miss this. Ali is absolute fire. She brings the fire every single time. So join us on the Lab Podcast. All right, that's it for next week. Tag your team, add it to your calendar, and I'll see you there.
All right, Alyssa, thank you very much. Always making sure we know what's going on in the University Spotlight. And that's pretty much our show for today. So I want to say thank you to each and every one of you guys for showing up, each and every one of you guys for staying. We're going to be making some shifts and making some changes to the big agent meeting. Jump on the QR code. If you got something you'd like to see us do or do a little bit different, let us know in the QR code. Give us a rating on a scale of 1 to 10. Let us know how we did today. And of course, always make sure you give us suggestions if you want to see new stuff in. We got a couple new segments we're working on in the next couple weeks that you guys are going to want to check out so you always know what's going on at eXp. All right, there you go. That's all for the show today. Stay tuned for iConversations coming up next. I'll see you guys next week.